Boredom eating is also called foggy eating. We're just eating mindlessly, really. We're not eating because we're hungry, but we're eating because we have nothing better to do to entertain ourselves and to keep ourselves active or distracted. Dopamine is called the pleasure hormone. Dopamine is quickly released in sugar, rice, bread, pastries, ice creams, chips, cakes, the foods that are just fun, quick and easy to grab. All of these are common foods that we go for when we're bored, simply because these foods trigger the dopamine release in us, and that gives us pleasure and a sense of pleasure straight away. So we want that food that will always distract us when we're bored. And sugar and starch and salt and fat are the key triggers that will release dopamine, and as such release instant pleasure to us. We're seeking pleasure in a form that we know and that we have control over. But we also know that that pleasure, when we're eating just for the sake of eating, is that it will affect our health. The truth is, boredom is normal. It's a natural emotion, and most of us have difficulty facing negative emotions. We never allow ourselves, even though boredom is very normal, we never allow ourselves to feel it. Instead, what we do is we try to run away from it. Boredom to many people is emotional pain. But in all honesty, it just isn't painful at all. Boredom gives us time to contemplate, to rest our mind and let the world pass by without our contribution, without us doing anything to make it happen. It's a great time where we don't really feel like doing anything productive. And not being productive is normal. You can't work a horse all year round, either mentally or physically. So the problem is not boredom, but often the guilt that comes to us when we feel that we're not working hard enough, doing enough, jamming our lives with activities. But when feelings of boredom hit us, it doesn't matter where it is, we do try to want to run away from it. And this is what's actually causing the problem. Running away is the problem, not the boredom itself. So what I want to say is, the next time you find yourself eating just for the sake of eating, just stop for a moment and ask yourself, why am I eating this? Is it because I'm hungry? Or is it that I'm feeding this feeling of emotion or some other emotion that's in us? Now, on the first occasion, you might notice it but can't do anything about it. But the more you notice why you're eating and what's driving you to eat other than hunger, the more you'll start to have the strength to take control of it. But like I said, these things don't happen overnight. So what I recommend that you do when you are bored, these are some of the things that I would encourage. That you sit with that emotion for a while and you allow yourself to feel it. Don't be a big baby. It's never as painful as you think. And when you face it, like most emotions that are negative, it quickly passes. Number 2 is that you allow yourself to drift and daydream. Don't try and do something. Don't try and put something into the world. Just allow yourself to drift and be in no man's land. The other thing as well, usually when you drift, number 3 is that you'll go to sleep. You relax your whole mind and body, let go a lot of tension. Well, when you're sitting there fighting with the boredom, you're building tension, you're building agitation, and you're building more painful hormones that will want you to go for dopamine, which will be more of the happy hormones. So therefore, you'll go for foods that will make you feel happy, or anything that will make you feel happy straight away. So sleeping is great. And moreover, when we relax our body and we sleep, the number 4 is the thing that we could try to just be with our God. He's silent, he's invisible, but he's ever present. So why don't we just take a little time when we're bored to turn that boredom on him and even ask him, what's going on here? And is this something that I'm supposed to be feeling? Have a conversation with God in a relaxed state when you're bored. If you really have to eat because you've not learned to control your emotions yet, number 5 suggestion is to eat a salad or a snack. something like a cucumber stick or carrot, something that you know hasn't got any calories in and it's of a fruit or vegetable group. So go with real food if you have to eat when you're bored, but make sure it's something very, very low in calorie, like salad, something very simple, just to help to pass that moment of boredom. But my key point is that don't try and run away from it. You know, for me, boredom is one emotion that I've struggled with all my life. And to a little extent, I still struggle with it every now and again. But I've also learned how to handle it. I've been used to having a busy life, sometimes full of drama, sometimes challenging and fun, but I always feel I have to have something to do rather than to keep still. I have to be moving. I want to be active. I want my mind to be working. I want to be having fun. And then when I can't do all of those things, it needs to be food. When I'm tired of overanalyzing and overthinking, and I even want to shut off my thinking, then it has to be food. But what I have learned on this journey as a coach and as a life coach and as a weight loss coach, what I have learned is that my God is still. He is a calm God and a quiet God and a patient God. And I knew that when I was bored, that was the opposite to everything that I was feeling, yet I know I want to be like God and to learn to be like Him. So what I started to do was that when I was bored, and realized that I didn't feel calm inside, I also realized that I was far away from God. So instantly I knew I had to find ways and strategies to overcome this boredom rather than fighting it away, eating it away, or just dramatizing it away or overthinking some other unnecessary problem away. So I learned to accept boredom and sit with it. The moment I accepted that it was okay to be bored. It was okay to sit around and do nothing for hours at a time. It was okay to just be mindless and meaningless for that moment, and it usually is just a few moments. But even if it's for an hour that I'm irrelevant, I started to accept it. So when I learned to accept that it was okay to not have meaningful activities going on all day, every day, then I started to feel calm inside. So calm replaced boredom. And when I hit calm, then I realized that I was closer to God because I know that God is calm. And for me to be close to Him, I had to be calm. So feeling closer to God in my moments of boredom was a great victory and is always a great victory over boredom for me. So now, but when boredom comes, I'm actually kind of excited and appreciate that time to be bored, to do nothing, to not think, to not have the answers, to not be going there doing something entertaining. And when I get into a state of calm, I started to know that the way to inner peace is to always face those negative emotions. And boredom is the most silent of all our negative emotions because we don't even recognize it as a problematic emotion. We just think, get away from it. Like I said, let's start to learn to use boredom to get closer to God rather than getting closer to food or booze or something that is just going to make us feel guilty afterwards and put us in another state of emotional pain, okay?